right, everyone. Welcome to Chart Attack. This is Vishal from EQUITY.GURU, and today we're going to be looking at the chart of InPlay Oil. The oil markets are heating up once again, but come on, folks. We know they've been heating up for quite some time, and we're still thinking oil is going higher. I know a few banks have a $100 price target for oil. Another bank, I think just this week, said not 100, but $125 a barrel for oil. And I think this is still playing the whole inflation trade with this run into commodities. But just think about $100 or $125 barrel in oil in this world, what that's going to do to the cost of transport and food as well. So I know a lot of people are now looking at oil. Here we have a company, InPlay Oil, that has assets in the Cardium fields in West Central Alberta, and you can see some of their assets here. Their operations are Cardium, Belly River, and Duvernay. Recent news talks about an acquisition of Prairie Storm Resources on the basis of 25 cents in cash, basically for shares here, and it adds to the assets in what was that location that they were talking about, but in the Cardium, Cardium fields, they're just consolidating more assets. So this is a company, folks, that has assets, is extracting light oil, and are making money, right? So this is not just some sort of, I would say, a startup company. They've been here doing work here for some time, and the chart is reflecting that. I mean, take a look at the chart. Dropped with oil. You know, when oil dropped back in 2020, we saw negative prices in oil. But ever since that, the stock itself actually, well, this is actually pretty crazy. Look how low the stock was. It looks like it hit 5 cents at one time during that drop. Just absolute crazy price action there. And now we're trading at $2.33. A lot of it has to do with the uptick in oil, and I just want to show you a couple of technical patterns that I see here right away. And as you guys can see, the uptrend is pretty much still intact. You know, you can draw your trend line here, connecting these lows all the way up. But I want to talk about the flag patterns because it's a pattern that we've seen on many markets many times. What I'll do is I'll get rid of this because it sort of changes things up there. But you can see we have two flag patterns, and all a flag pattern is, folks, is basically an uptrend that begins to consolidate, and essentially have your flag pole with your flag here, and the pattern just consolidates between the two. And the way we trade this is we just wait for the breakout to the upside, right? We wait for the breakout above that flag pattern, which we got on a nice green candle here, and that usually is the indicator that the uptrend continues. So we've had one here in 2021 in the summer, and we've had one actually just recently here with the breakout at the end of the year, December 30th, 2021. So a nice sort of start here in the last few weeks for InPlay Oil. But what I want to do, folks, is I want to now zoom out to the long term, because I know a lot of you guys are asking, okay, where does the price go next? Let's take a look here at the weekly chart, and just look at how pricey this company used to be back in the day. This used to be a $1,200 stock in 2011. But let's zoom in here on the weekly, and I'll take it. I just don't want to get too much breath here on the chart. So that looks okay. So you guys can sort of see here the resistance zone I have is around the $2.25 zone. And last week we broke above that. It looks like we are retesting that this week. And honestly, traders, I don't really see much resistance in the way. Maybe there's some here at $3.50, but I think a lot of people will be looking at the $3 zone, $3.50, and then there's a big gap here between $3.50 to about $5. So I'm going to say that, hey, you know what, $3.50 is the next major resistance zone, as long as we hold that support here. So it used to be resistance, it's now turned as support, and there's that retest, breakout, and that retest. It is looking good. But I think what we have to do is we have to take a look at the chart of crude oil, because that's going to tell us a lot about where oil is going. And, oil had a lot of action last year and into the end of 2021. We then began to drop off, in fall of 2021, and then began to recover a little bit to end the year But right now we are above $75 a barrel, and I'm looking at West Texas here. I do have a resistance at 81.32. But honestly, folks, I think as long as oil is above this $75 zone, above this higher low here, I think oil can continue to make new highs here. And of course, a lot of people are including oil as part of the run or move into hard assets or into commodities. And I think that's the opportunity. I think oil prices can remain elevated as we see more money running into commodities. And then, of course, there's always the OPEC shenanigans with Saudi Arabia and OPEC plus, sorry, because Russia is included in that. So the shenanigans there as well. And we've heard that, some countries like the US, China, Japan, South Korea have sort of sold off oil reserves to try to bring the price of oil down. But I think the Saudis can just cut production to try to get the prices back up again. So a lot of geopolitics going on there. I should maybe just mention that the situation in Kazakhstan could be having an issue, but I think Kazakhstan is more involved with uranium rather than oil. But in that whole region close to Russia, people are probably talking about that as well. But keep an eye out on IPO and keep an eye out on oil prices here. Very, very strong charts for InPlay Oil. That's going to be it for me, folks. Be sure to follow us on all our social media links in the description box below. Let me know what you guys think of InPlay Oil specifically, or if you are oil bulls in general. I really want to know what you guys think, and I'll catch you all in the next Chart Attack video.